Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel. This is the World of TV Shows, and today I have another episode review for you for NCIS. And today we're going to be taking a look at the fifth episode of the first season called The Curse. The episode originally aired on October 28, 2003 on CBS. It was directed by Terrence O'Hara and written by Donald P. Belisario, Don McGill, as well as Jeff Flaming. So what is this episode about? What's happening? What's going on? In this episode, Gibbs and his team are going to be investigating after a deer hunter happened to stumble upon a cargo pod out in the woods as he was basically there. And what happens is that he finds out that it contains a mummified body inside of it. So Gibbs and his team are going to be called out to the scene to begin their investigation, right? So the medical examiner, Ducky, is going to go there to ascertain certain things, as he usually does, as whenever they find a body belonging to the Navy or something similar, they are the ones to be called there to the scene of the crime to run some kind of investigation, come up with some initial findings that they usually do. Then they're going to take the body back to their NCIS headquarters, and there they're going to basically learn more about who that mummified body was, right? So they're going to find out that it happens to be, they happen to be rather, a Navy dispersing officer, right? And that there is something about their disappearance that occurred a few years back, along with some cash, some money, right? So there's a link between the two, and they're gonna have to try and figure out whether this was a robbery that this Navy dispersing officer was involved in, or whether it was something else, something, more than meet the eye, so to speak. So they're gonna go back to kind of ask anybody who might know certain things. And yes, one of them will be the NCIS agent at the time who is now stationed at Pearl Harbor. So they're going to ask him to join them in Washington, D.C. to kind of help them a little bit, fill in a few gaps, especially since he was the one who was kind of, in charge at the time of the investigation in a way, right? So his name is Agent Richard Owens, and there he's gonna basically let them in on his theory and what he came up with, his findings, his conclusions, right? But Gibbs is gonna wanna run a thorough investigation to the end. Also, they're gonna be talking, especially Kate, in this particular to that particular person, his widow, the widow of the dead man, who is basically who has a daughter now, and she's remarried. But yes, there's something about death benefits that she cannot get since her husband was dishonorably discharged. And Kate is gonna take that to heart a little bit, and she's gonna wanna basically, if he was truly innocent of the robbery that he was accused of, she would like to clear his name, to help clear his name, so that the mother and daughter can have some death benefits, can have some money, so that the daughter can go off to college, and so that it could be good, right, to do that little thing for the grieving widow, right? So yeah, this is pretty much how it goes. So yes, they're going to be basically running a thorough investigation. They're going to be looking at a big number of suspects. There's no shortage of that. So they're going to be talking to the new husband of the widow, who could have had reason to kill her former husband because of what happened afterwards. But could he be innocent, right? Yeah, so there are so many different kind of, different twists and turns throughout the episode that it was pretty good to watch. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, perhaps we should move on to my thoughts and views on this episode. I thought that this episode was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of complicated kind of themes, so to speak, a lot of difficult concepts to grasp. So you have to pay real close attention. And there are a lot of technical terms too, like I forgot tomcats and things like that, which many of us might not be familiar with, right? Because, the Navy, they have all these, kind of terms that they use, which we don't necessarily know about. So, but yet it's interesting to learn about that. And this episode was pretty good with the whole kind of money kind of plot, missing money, and whether or not the dispersing officer was guilty of robbery, of yes, of that crime that he was accused of initially, or whether there's something more. There's yes, whether there are more people involved, and whether or not they're actually quite innocent of that crime. This is so interesting, because this show kind of keeps us at the edge of our seats, wondering what is going to happen, right? Where is this whole case going to lead? And I really enjoyed how, near the end, when you get to the final twist and the resolution, you find out the truth. And it's always satisfying, and it's kind of funny too at the same time. You'll find out for yourselves who have watched it. You probably know why I'm saying this. But yeah, it's pretty good, especially, yes, in this episode also I didn't mention, but Abby, the forensics expert, the goth of the team, is pretty giddy at some point. That was kind of funny. Also, this is in this episode that the head slaps officially begin, with Tony DiNozzo getting his first one from Gibbs, as is the case in this TV show a lot, the head slaps. And also, it's been 2 years, I believe, since DiNozzo was a member of the team, and Kate, it's about a month, right? So I just wanted to mention that in passing, because it's kind of relevant to a certain extent. It's not a big thing, but yet I like to give you all the facts that I can think of, right? That I can remember. So let's move on to the actors, perhaps. So we have the main ones: Mark Harmon, Sasha Alexander, Michael Weatherly, Polly Perrett, David McCallum. Those are the main ones, the ones who are credited in the opening theme. Then we have David Ramsey, plays NCIS agent Richard Owens. I really liked him. Then we have Melora Horton, who plays Aaron Toner, who plays some kind of a dispersing clerk, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. And yeah, I really liked her in this episode. She was really good, really talented. She gave a really talented performance, and I let you find out for yourselves how exactly. Then we have Jim Perry, who plays Randy Wiles, who is the new husband, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have Lauren Bouse, who plays Mary Wiles, the wife, his wife and the widow of that other man. Then we have Robert, of the victim, right? Then we have Robert Pine, who plays Ben. Tommy Hinckley plays the deer hunter. Bill Birch plays State Trooper Dan Lynch. Jonathan Wade Dreyhouse plays Lieutenant Greg Pellini. Chris Ellis plays Gunnery Sergeant John. Then we have Travis Aaron Wade, who plays Lieutenant Mark Shills, right? Who is our victim, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, nevertheless, I did think that, yes, my favorite ones would definitely be David Ramsey and Melora Horton, as well as Lauren Bouse. They were pretty good in this episode, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure they were in other TV shows as well. They did a pretty awesome job in this episode. So it was a pretty good episode for what it was. So if I were to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd definitely give it a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy the whole plot, the whole twist, the whole kind of development of this episode up until the very end, where you get to basically the final kind of act, right? And it's quite an animated one. For those who have watched it, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it was pretty awesome. I pretty enjoyed it. The whole twisting near the end, and the whole kind of how could I say, resolution of it. But yeah, 7 out of 10 for me for this episode. It was pretty good for what it was. So I guess that's pretty much it for me, now that I give you my rating. So yeah, what about you folks? What did you think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know about your favorite episode of NCIS as well. And what did you think about the first season? What did you think about the episodes that we have been reviewing so far? Anything is more than welcome here, no judgment. We all here to have a good time and to speak about one of our favorite TV shows. So please, let me know anything you would like to. In the meantime, folks, thank you for watching. Stay safe and take care. This is the World of TV Show signing off.